Welcome back to Blind Reading with Hungry Harmony. Today's reading, Bride of Discord. The Decision. I hope we don't run into any timber wolves, Fluttershy quivered as she and her friend trudged through the evergreen forest. Don't worry, Applejack assured her. If we come across those critters, I'll take care of them. They approached at the zebra's tree and knocked on the door. Who is coming to say hi? Zecora asked as she opened the door. Why, it's dear Applejack and Fluttershy. Won't you come in with me and have some tea? Oh my goodness, I love to do Zecora's voice. I just need to remember how she sounds. Whoopsie. She poured them both a cup of tea, which eased their nerves a bit. It is wonderful to see your face. Now what brings you here to my place? Fluttershy was too nervous to speak, so Applejack explained for her. As you may have noticed, Discord's back. The zebra narrowed her eyes and stomped her hoof on the table. I am fully aware that creature's in town, when I came to find my hut upside down. The southern pony glanced around at the mess of broken bottles and turned over her furniture. Makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. I'm sure you heard of his demands. Zecora nodded. News in Equestria travels fast. That has just so happened to have passed my ear that Discord has said he would like a mare to wed? That is correct. And if he doesn't get a bride by tomorrow, he'll hurt the princesses, Fluttershy added, filling with her cup. And Applejack finished. Fluttershy's thinking of being that mare. Zecora looked at the Pegasus with wide eyes. Is that so? You wish to go? Yes, she muttered. No, maybe? I don't know. I keep urging her not to, Applejack said, but she thinks it's the only one who can do it. That's why I brought her here, Zecora, so you can talk some sense into her. Perhaps I can help lift your spirits up, Zecora said, holding out her hoof. But first, I will need your teacup. Fluttershy handed Zecora her empty cup, and Zebra studied the tea leaves carefully. For such a long time, I see, you have been most unhappy. The Pegasus hung her head. You are haunted by your fear, the very creature that brings you here. You can tell all that from her teacup? Applejack marveled. But look, Zecora showed the cup to Fluttershy and pointed to a picture of the sun that was made by the leaves. In your future, I also see great happiness, and this is if you go with the Draconequus. What? The southern pony grabbed the teacup. How could she be possibly happy with Discord? He may not be an angel from above, but perhaps all Discord needs is some love. Love? That varmint? Now I know you're making this up. You mean, Fluttershy stammered, he just wants some pony to love him? Zecora shrugged. I could be mistaken, but I assure you if this path were taken, no harm will be brought upon you. Yet it could be that Discord is unhappy too. I hadn't thought about that. Applejack slammed her hoof. Because there's no way in the wide world of Equestria that a creature like him could ever... Do you not remember what you thought of me? Zecora interrupted. Oh, burn! Burn! When you came crashing through my tree, were not your judgments of me wrong, yours and that of the massive throng? That was different. We didn't know you then. But Discord, he's terrible. Do you know what he did to us? What he did to Fluttershy? What he's gonna do to the princesses? Zecora waved her words away and smiled at Fluttershy. The key to happiness is to show kindness. The Pegasus looked at the zebra's assuring face and grinned slightly. Now, Applejack, shall we see what is in your tea? She peered over at her cup. I'll pass, thank you, the southern pony said. Really? You do not want help alike on your conflicting emotions for Spike? How did you... Applejack blushed. I mean, I told you coming here was a waste of time. Come on, Fluttershy. As the Pegasus followed her friend out the door, she turned back to the zebra. Tell me, Zecora, is what you said about Discord true?
Perhaps, perhaps not, she replied coolly, but perhaps it's worth a shot. Fluttershy nodded in thanks and stepped outside. The two friends were quiet on their stroll back until Fluttershy recognized a certain part of the wood. Abruptly, she flew down a path, and Applejack raced after her. Fluttershy, what are you? Then they stopped at a gorge, a rickety rope bridge hanging in front of them. On the other side was a dark floating castle. Discord had obviously fixed up the ruins and made himself at home. Fluttershy stared at it in wonder. If she made this decision, this is where she would spend the rest of her days. Oh my gosh. We should get out of here, Applejack whispered. Her friend nodded and followed back. Fluttershy, Seven Points said seriously, I know what you're thinking, but you can't do it.
You don't suppose Zecora was lying? Fluttershy asked.
I'm not calling Zecora a liar. It's Discord I don't trust.
What if she's right? What if Discord just wants some pony to love? I mean, why else would he ask for a bride? All those years? I bet he's never even had a friend.
Well, he should have thought about that before he took over Equestria and messed up every pony's lives. Applejack.
Some pony has to go with him. What choice do I have? There are plenty of ponies in Equestria. It doesn't have to be you. But how many do you think would be willing to go?
I will.
This is my choice, Applejack. I can take care of myself. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so different. Just because I'm reading it, it's different than just hearing it. I can't believe this is what's doing to me. Oh my gosh.
I know you can, Sugar Cube. I've seen you face up to a manticore and a full-grown dragon. But Discord, she sighed. Look, I just don't want you to get hurt. And I know the others won't want to lose you to that.
If I don't go, the sun may never rise again and Cadence's baby will never be born. Applejack, it's either me or all of Equestria.
Oh my gosh, Fluttershy. You're so precious. You're so precious. Applejack stared up at her friend with blurry eyes and then hung her head. If this is your decision, Sugar Cube, I'm not gonna stop you. But you do realize I'll have to tell the others what you did, right? I'm sorry.
No, they have the right to know.
Just promise me this. If no pony else comes forth by tomorrow, then you may do what you wish. Oh my gosh. Just Applejack caring so much. And Fluttershy just... Fluttershy is so precious. Fluttershy embraced her friend. I knew you'd understand, Applejack. When she pulled away, she smiled smugly. So what's this about you and Spike? Applejack turned red. It's nothing. Really, it's a school pony crush, nothing more.
When did this happen?
When he saved me from those timber rolls last year, but it's been going on and off. It's kind of embarrassing. You can't tell any pony or any dragon, you hear? Fluttershy giggled.
Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye.
I'll tell you about my opinions about Applejack and Spike later. I have mixed feelings about it.
Was Zecora of any help? Twilight asked the two once they had returned to Canterlot.
Applejack hesitated. They had told her they were visiting Zecora, but they had not given the details. She gave some advice. Has any pony come forth yet? The alicorn shook her head. No. I've tried to find the princesses using divination spells, but I have no luck so far. Fluttershy said nothing and headed towards her room. Applejack caught up with her before she could close the door. Fluttershy? Fluttershy! She called. Whatever you choose, I I just want you to know. She turned to her. Yes? You just might be the bravest pony I've ever known. Fluttershy smiled, knowing that it was always the truth with her. That really means a lot to me, Applejack. I'm gonna cry. Why? This is so... Oh my gosh. What the heck? The night she dreamt of Discord and the words that Sakura had spoken. He may not be an angel from above, but perhaps all Discord needs is some love. The words soothed her. The more she thought about it, the less worried she was. She was still terrified, though not as much as before. She liked to think it was all true. What if Discord was just a creature that needed to be tamed, like the manticore and the dragon? Even if Sakura hadn't been right, some pony needed to go. So when Fluttershy awoke that morning, she knew exactly what she needed to do. Fluttershy, you're so amazing. Just what still makes me mad that she thinks she has no purpose. Fluttershy, you're an important pony. I just wish I could have been there. This is an alternate universe. Of course I'm not been there, but just, the need to be there for someone who's in pain or just is in conflict. I just want to be there. Continuing. Twilight gazed out her window. The sun hadn't risen in 3 days, and the stars and moon were starting to fade. It would be soon, but be nothing but darkness, and the deadline was near. A cry from Rainbow Dash interrupted her thoughts. Twilight! Twilight! You gotta come quickly! What is it? The princess demanded. It's Fluttershy! She's gone! Twilight didn't waste a second and followed the Pegasus to Fluttershy's room. Rarity, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and Spike surrounded the empty bed. The dragon held a note in his claw. The alicorn removed it with her magic and read it out loud. Dear friends, I am very sorry, but this is the only way. Do not come after me. This was my choice. Applejack will explain. Please take care of my animals, especially Angel. Tell them I'm sorry. Love, Fluttershy. Every pony turned suspiciously towards Applejack. Do you know anything about this? The cowgirl stumped her hoof. She did it. She's gone and she did it. I tried to talk her out of it. I really did. She made me pinky promise not to tell y'all, but she did it. Calm down, Applejack. What happened? She took a deep breath and looked up at them with tears in her eyes. I am crying. If I had to be the friend to tell, I would be heartbroken. Fluttershy stood at the cave entrance. A part of her was telling her to turn back, but another was telling her to go in. She had to do this for her friends, for the princesses, for Equestria. She inhaled deeply and walked in. It was dark, but that's not what frightened her. She had the feeling that he was going to jump out at any moment. Stop it, Fluttershy, she told herself. You need to be brave. Hello? She called out weakly. Anyone home? Well. She yelled in surprise and spun around to find that Sharpana was standing over her. Creepy Discord! If it isn't the element of kindness herself, how nice of you to drop in. Suddenly the ground beneath her disappeared and Fluttershy screamed as she fell through a hole. She landed with a thump and looked around to find that she had landed in the same spot that she had fallen. How did... she stammered. Discord laughed maniacally. Oh, that was priceless! He wiped away a tear. So what brings you here, my dear? Come to negotiate some more? Fluttershy struggled to stand as her knees were shaking. Well, I have come to negotiate something. Strange that Twilight would send you to try to reason with me. Well, you can tell her, your precious princess, that I will take a bride, and that's final. Discord stared at her. Oh, sorry. And a bride you shall have. Discord stared at her, shocked at her sudden outburst. Is that so? Well, where is the lucky mare? Her teeth started chattering. Right here. She blinked. Say again. Fluttershy closed her eyes and straightened up. I will be your bride. For a long while there was silence, and she opened her eyes to see his face full of confusion. Then he erupted into a roar of laughter. Oh, I get it. This is a joke, right? All right, who put you up to this? Twilight? Maybe that prankster Pinkie Pie? She did not respond. Rainbow Dash?
They don't even know I'm here. Well, they should by now. I left them a note.
Why would you leave them a... His laughter faded as he studied the pony's face. You're serious about this? She nodded solemnly. You? He would have never expected her, the Pegasus afraid of her own shadow, to accept his offer. Actually, he was beginning to think no pony would come forth at all.
Yes, she squeaked.
And no pony put you up to this? She shook her head.
This was my decision. But, she backed away nervously, if you'd rather have some pony else...
Now hold on! She jumped as he appeared behind her. I didn't say I wasn't interested. He circled around, studying her carefully from every angle. Fluttershy shut her eyes and stood still, her heart racing. She flinched as he sniffed at her mane, but tried not to react. Discord, don't be creepy! Discord had to admit, for a pony, she wasn't that bad to look at. Her silky pink mane was well-groomed and smelled of roses. Her big teal eyes, though closed now, were almost adorable, and her voice was sweet as honey. This must have been a trick of some sort. There was no way this pony would have come out of her own free will. But he knew she wasn't a trickster. Besides, when he was going to get another chance like this? You'll do, he said with indifference. But are you certain this is what you want, my dear? Remember, if you agree to this, there is no going back. Fluttershy looked up at him boldly. If I were to go with you, you will keep your promise and let the princesses go. My dear, he said with a bow, you have my word. And my friends will never hear from me again. She gulped.
Or me?
He stopped. He stooped down to her face, just inches from hers. Think of it this way. You could either spend eternity living comfortably at my estate, cater to your every need, or you could spend the rest of your short life in a world of darkness.
Cater to my every need?
If we are to be married, what's mine is yours. If it is in my power, I shall give you whatever you desire. Call it incentive. She could not tell if he was serious. Being offered whatever she desired did sound tempting. But why would he do that for her? Perhaps Sakura was right. Maybe he was desperate for a companion. Wow. Seeing that he was getting to her, he placed his hands on her shoulders. So what'll it be, my dear? It didn't matter. Question need the princesses returned. Excuse me. She breathed in. I don't even want to say these words.
I'll marry you.
Excellent! He leaped excitedly into the air. Now where are the princesses? Instead of answering, he smirked. Why don't we make it official? He snapped his fingers and a box materialized in his paw. He opened it to reveal a sparkling diamond ring. Oh dear, Fluttershy muttered. He chuckled. I'll ask again. Will you marry me, my dear Fluttershy? Fluttershy, don't! Pegasus turned to see Twilight racing towards them, the others running behind. You keep away from her, creep! Cried Rainbow, her face filled with bloodlust. Yikes! Discord stopped them all with his magic. Do you mind? I'm in the middle of a proposal here. Put them down, Fluttershy begged. Please just let me say goodbye to them. He rolled his eyes and released them from his spell. Fluttershy rushed to Twilight's side. I told you not to come after me. We couldn't let you go with him. The alicorn below pointing and goosing at the dragoness. You don't understand. I have to do this. No, you don't. There has to be another way. If I don't do this, Equestria is doomed for all eternity, and Cadance will never have her baby.
But do you have any idea what this monster might do to you?
Rainbow shouted.
No pony chooses my fate but me.
Fluttershy, Rarity pleaded. You can't possibly marry this beast. Discord dramatically put a hand to his heart, pretending to look offended. "Oh, I'm sorry."
I'm sorry, but this is my decision.
Fluttershy?
Pinky sniffed.
We'll never see you again. She looked at her friend sadly. I know. I can't take this anymore. I can't. This is so sad. This is too sad. We'll find another way to get the princesses back, Twilight insisted. I'll even go in your place. Well, she's right, Applejack interrupted. They all turned to her in shock. Fluttershy's the only pony in control of her destiny. If her decision is to save Equestria, we should respect that decision. She walked up to her friend. You take care of yourself, you hear? Fluttershy nodded and embraced the Earth Pony. Make sure my animals get everything they need. Of course, Sugar Cube. Fluttershy! Mabel started to say as she flew down to her. You can't! You won't! She hugged her childhood friend. You stood up for me so many times. Now I can return the favor. She hovered over to Rarity. You can keep my clothes if you like. The unicorn was astonished. Darling, you can't expect me to. She stopped as she received a hug. Don't be silly. I'll donate them. They're not my size anyway. Fluttershy then turned to the Pink Earth Pony. Pinkie Pie, Pinkie let her wail and flung her hooves around her neck. Don't forget us, okay? I mean, even if you'll never see us again, don't forget our names. I mean, it's easy to forget one's name after not seeing them for a while, and I won't forget you, Pinkie. She sniffed and hugged her tightly. I know! Oh gosh. Once Pinkie Pie had loosened her grip, Fluttershy turned to Spike. Before she could say anything, he wrapped his arms around her legs with a whine. She then looked up at Twilight, who was on the verge of tears. I'll be fine, she assured her. I promise. How can you possibly keep that promise? Elkhorn choked. You know how good I am with creatures, the rest she said in a whisper. I think I can tame him. But for Cadence, she nodded and embraced her. Discord was about ready to gag. Discord, shut up. Just let her have her moment, okay? Hello, he called, waving the ring box. Waiting for an answer here. Fluttershy pulled away from her friends and courageously faced the Draconequus. She stuck out her hoof and uttered, Yes. Discord smiled in triumph as he zapped the box away. The ring then reappeared on a chain around Fluttershy's neck. Draconequus cackled as he scooped his bride-to-be in his arms. The ponies watched in horror. If you hurt a hair on her head, Mabel mourned, I assure you she won't be a harm, so long as you don't try and take her back. Now, if you excuse me, we have a wedding to plan. With a final triumphant laugh, Discord vanished. With Fluttershy and in their place, the three princesses appeared, their horns restored to their heads. What's happened? Luna demanded. Where's Discord? The ponies burst into tears. Applejack was the only one with strength to speak. He's taken a bride. Their eyes widened. Who? Who? Celeste asked. And receiving no response, she beseeched her student. Twilight. Who did he take? The purple alicorn buried her face in her hooves, knowing her friend was gone because of her failure as a princess. I'm sorry, Fluttershy. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Reading it just makes it more dramatic and I just take things more seriously. I'm sorry if this may be a little bit overreacting, but this is how I read things and I just try to be in the moment and I'm just okay, I'm gonna stop here. I can't wait to start the next chapter, chapter 7. It's gonna be a lot of chapters. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys will stay tuned for the next chapter. Hungry Harmony, Out. Friendship is magic.